begging me to leave all that I've known. You begging me to call you as my own. This is life, to bid me come and die. Spirit of the living God, you'll always satisfy, always satisfy. And here I am, my everything, surrender at the altar of my King. For I am His, and He is mine. I know now that He will never leave my side. He will never leave my side. Hey guys, and welcome back to Gospel Pearl. And this video was not planned. Oh, by the way, I'm Suzanne, and this video was not planned because me and Angie had planned for another video, but I just felt like God wanted me to share this, and it's just something that I've been going through this week, and I'm filming this video on the 8th of March 2018, and if I'm to be honest, I feel like this has been my worst week of 2018, and it's crazy because I didn't expect. I feel like everything just shifted all at once, and I knew that it would be hard, but it's like I didn't expect it to hit me as much, you know. And as you all know, I'm in my final year of biomedical science, and it's crazy because I didn't see myself being here in the first place. So I'm in my final year, and we've started our project. So basically dissertation, what some people would know. So we've started our project, so I'm going to be in lab for the next 4 weeks, and so Monday was my first day in lab. I was excited and just a little bit nervous, but I was excited. I was like, you know what, this is a new experience. I get to do a project that I want, you know, a project of my own, you know, like just do, like, you know, just be in charge of what I'm doing. I went in lab, guys, and honestly, I was there from 9 AM. The first 3 hours or 4 hours of me being in lab, I felt so I just felt stupid. Like some of the lab technician in there made me feel like I was so dumb, to the point where I just felt like, Suzanne, what are you doing here? You're not smart enough. Like, what are you doing? What are you even doing here? Like, give up now, walk out of this lab. There's no point of you carrying on. Like, what are you doing here? That's literally how I felt when I went in there, because I asked one of them a question, and they literally made me feel like I was so stupid, like I wasn't worthy enough. Like, they looked down on me, like, what are you doing here, you know? And honestly, like, usually, like, I don't let these things affect me, but I don't know why I was affected so much at that moment, to where I just start hearing voices telling me, you're not good enough, just give up, what are you still doing in here, like, you're not gonna pass, like, you're not even. I started hearing voices that are telling me you're not gonna graduate, so Suzanne, just give up. Like, that's literally what was going through my mind. And I was in lab, and I felt like crying. I had like tears building up, but I said to myself, son, don't do this, like don't cry, because you're gonna make yourself even look even more stupid. So like I kept in the tears, and you know, I really wanted to just walk out that day on Monday, just walk out. But I ended up just staying, and then ended up figuring out, you know, what to do for like the first part of my experiment. So I done it, and then I called it a day, because at 2 o'clock I had the Viva, which was on my case study, where I had 2 of my lecturers asking me questions. But then because I was already overwhelmed and just upset and just down about what happened in lab, that I just didn't feel like going to my Viva, to be honest, guys. And I just didn't feel like going. Oh, ouch! I didn't feel like going to my Viva. Like, I was just down. I literally came home, I cried. I just broke down. This is my first time in 2018 breaking down. Like, I broke down. Like, I just cried. I was like, God, why me? Like, I was just discouraged. Then I was like, you know what, let me go to this Viva. Only 10 minutes of my life, you know, how bad can it be? So I went. I just did my best, you know. Like, I really went okay. Like, who knows, I haven't got the results yet, but like, I just went. And then I after I finished my Viva, it was only for 10 minutes. I phoned my friend Ashley. Shout out to Ashley, she's amazing. I phoned Ashley because she just lived like 2 minutes away from me. I said, hey babes, are you at home? And she was like, yeah, I'm at home. I was like, okay, I'm coming. She was like, yeah, sure, come in, come. Like, Ashley is she's so welcoming, and she's an amazing person. So anyways, so I walked over. As I was walking over to her house, I just started crying again. Like, I couldn't control my emotion. Like, I don't know, like, I just couldn't control my emotion. Where I was walking to her and I was just crying, so I put my hoodie up so that nobody else could see me cry. And plus my jacket, my hoodie of my jacket is massive, so like, it literally covers my entire head. So I was walking down, literally just crying. Her door was open, so I walked in from the back, and then walked upstairs, and I knocked on her, you know, knocked on her door, and then she opened, and I just burst out crying. You know that ugly cry that you do when you just like you can't breathe. And then she just gave me a hug, and she was like, baby girl, breathe, like, just breathe. Like, she just gave me a hug. Like, she just held me. She just held me, and then she prayed with me. Like, she prayed with me, and then she just prayed that God would give me strength and peace. And then I finished crying. We went to make some, she made some food, and then we had something to eat. And then I had Connect group in the evening, because I'm part of the youth team at my church. So we usually have a Connect every other Monday. And on that particular Monday we had Connect, and honestly I didn't want to go, like, because I had I went to Ashley, so we ate, and then I just fell asleep on her couch. Then I fell asleep, then I woke up around 6ish, and I was like, oh, I know I have to go to Connect group now. Like, I did not want to go, honestly, guys, but I was like, no, let me just go. So I went, and then as I was there, my dad phoned me. I answered the phone, so I was talking to them, just telling them how my day went. And then yet again, typical Suzanne, just started crying. I started crying. I was like, oh, Suzanne, don't do this in people's house. Like, don't. I was wiping my tears quick, you know. I was just really emotional Monday, and I came after Connect. I came home. I literally bowed down, and I was like, God, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm honestly struggling this week. Like, and it's only Monday. I was like, God, give me strength and peace. And as I was reading through the Bible, and then there's so many promises that I've written in the Bible for us, and I wrote it down in my little journal, as you can see here. I wrote it down here. I wrote all my favorite Bible verses that God has spoken promises to us. All these are promises that I wrote down. So my favorite verse, which stuck with me from first year of when we doing this course, is Jeremiah 29:11, where it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plan to prosper you and not to harm you, plan to give you hope and a future." Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." Philippians 4:6 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcend all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus." Psalm 119, verse 105 says, where Jesus says, "I am a lamp unto," where Jesus is like, "a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path." And John 15:7 says, "If you remain in me and my word remain in you, then you will ask for anything you wish and you will have it." Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Never rely on on what you think you know. Remember the Lord in everything you do, and he will show you the right way." And I literally wrote these verses down on Monday night when I came back from Connect, and I was just speaking it over me and just speaking the truth, speaking. These are the promises. This is the promise that God has said, and he has never failed me. Even though, guys, like, honestly, it was hard. Like, I was reading this and as I was writing these verses down, I was crying because I just wanted to give up. Like, even though I didn't feel like praying, I didn't feel like reading my Bible, but I knew that I still had to go to God. Like, even when I didn't feel like it, I didn't feel like, oh, even if I pray, like, it's not going to change my situation. And honestly, guys, it didn't change my situation. Even after I spoke those words, said those scriptures over and over again Monday night, like, I can assure you that on Tuesday I went to lab, and yet again on Tuesday I actually broke down in lab in front of everybody. I just started crying, like, tears just started coming down. And then so I left and I went to see my supervisor, and as we were talking, oh my gosh, I broke down. Like, when I broke down in front of her, and I started crying again. And the ugly cry that you do when you can't breathe, and then it was so embarrassing, guys. It was so embarrassing. Like, I couldn't breathe. She was like, breathe. She was like, breathe. She was like, calm down and just breathe. And Bruce, I said, it's okay. Calm down and just breathe. Like, it was so embarrassing. I just thought to myself, what is going on? Like, even I was like, God, I prayed that night. You promised me, like, everyone's gonna be okay. But but I still, like, even though, like, my situation didn't change on Tuesday, but I still went again to God, and I just carried on praying. I just kept speaking those truths. And Tuesday night, what I did was, I was like, you know what? Since I'm, prone to this, me having all this breakdown, I wrote those scriptures in my logbook, where I do, like, this is my logbook. So I wrote all the scriptures here. I can have so many papers. So I wrote a couple of scriptures here, so that when I'm in lab and I just feel like giving up, I can turn back and I can read those. And I can honestly say to you guys that my situation hasn't changed, but my perspective of my situation has changed. I am no longer looking at my situation and allowing it to affect me, and I'm like, you know what, my God is greater and bigger than my problem, is greater and bigger than all this. So, and I know that God has promised me something, and I know that He never fails. And throughout my time as a Christian, whenever God has promised me something, He's always accomplished it. And even though like my situation is Thursday, my situation hasn't changed. Like, I didn't cry today, praise the Lord, praise Jesus. Even though my situation has not changed, guys, but I am no longer afraid of tomorrow or next week, because I know that God has promised me something. He's promised me that if I trust in Him, I rely not on my own understanding, but I rely in Him and I rest in Him that everything is going to be okay. Like, my situation may not change straight away, but I know that God has me in the palm of His hand. And honestly, guys, it hasn't been easy for me this week. Like, there's been time where I just thought, you know what, I give up. Like, I was like, God, you clearly don't care about me. But this is why my relationship with God is such a roller coaster. Me and God, we argue all the time, and then we're just like so in love, you know, in love with each other. But even when I'm like arguing and fighting with God, He still loves me. He's still like, baby girl, I'm still here. And like on last night when I went to bed, I literally said, God, just give me a hug. Like, give me a hug, comfort me, and just let me know that it's gonna be okay. And honestly, guys, I woke up this morning and I felt different. Not because I had everything was sorted, but I don't know, I could just feel God's protection over me and just comfort. I felt at peace. And honestly, guys, I know that God is not gonna abandon me. He's never abandoned me. Like, my God is bigger than any problem, and I just wanted to encourage anybody or anyone that's going through anything and you feel like giving up, and this voice that you keep hearing is telling you you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, just give up. Why are you even trying? You're so stupid. That's not from God. That's from the devil. That's because the devil wants you to give up, because he can see what is attached to your destiny. He sees, he knows that, oh my gosh, if this person just overcomes this, like, they ain't got nothing, like, the devil ain't got nothing on me. So like, honestly, I just feel like I just wanted to encourage any of you guys that's going through something, that has been going through something this week, or I don't know how long you've been going through it, whatever it may be, like, finance, you may be at uni, relationship wise, or just anything that has, you felt so overwhelmed with. I just want to remind you that God, there's nothing in this world that is bigger or powerful than God. Our God is powerful, stronger, bigger than any situation that you're going through. And the attack and the opposition against you will not break you down, will only make you stronger. And those voices that you keep hearing that telling you you're stupid, you're not smart enough, just give up, it's not from God, it's from the devil. It's because the devil knows that if he doesn't try to stop you, like, so many people's life are going to change through you, and like the devil is scared, so like he brings different opposition to try and bring us down. But as believers, we need to know that the devil's plan in this world, in this planet, is to make sure that we don't get to our destiny. And if we know this, we need to be covered with the full armor of God, even though our situation is not changing how we want it to be. But I pray that you will learn to just keep reading scriptures, keep having tea with God, keep, seeking after God's heart, keep seeking after him. Even if it's not changing, trust me, your situation ain't going to change, but your perspective of what's going on around you will change. Sometimes we focus so much about what's going on around that we forget that our God is bigger. Like, he's bigger than it all. Like, trust me, from someone that went through hell this week, and for me to be sitting here and telling you trust God, like, I'm telling you, like, I know how it feels. I know how it feels when you're laying in bed, you're going to bed crying, because I cried myself to sleep Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I just cried myself to sleep. I just didn't feel worthy enough. I didn't feel smart enough. I just felt like, what am I even doing in this course? I don't deserve to be doing biomedical science. I'm dumb. Like, why am I here? But God has reminded me, Suzanne, you're beautifully and wonderfully made. You're just how I wanted you to be. Just because you can't do a certain thing does not make you dumb or stupid. I had to change how I started talking about myself and be more positive. And start speaking life into my situation. I started saying, you know what, Suzanne, you're not stupid. You're beautifully and wonderfully made. You're just how God made you. Like, I'm not stupid. It's the devil's lie. It's a lie from the enemy when you start being negative about yourself. Because God has made you just how he wanted you to be. And whatever you're going through, know that God will not abandon you. There's a verse in Psalm where, I think it's David that says that out of all the years that he's lived, he's never seen God abandon his people or their children. He's never seen even the children cry for hunger. I'll put that verse down. So like, you can imagine, like, God will never abandon us, and he will never allow us to go through something that he doesn't think that we can handle. Like, if you're going through something, let me assure you that God knows that you can handle. He's built you strong enough for you to handle it. And because when you overcome it, you grow, you become a better and stronger person. And you never know, 5 years down the line, you will be helping somebody else that's going through something. So don't give up, keep going. Like, I'm telling you, keep going. This is something that I need to tell myself this week, to keep going. Like, to just go. Like, I know that God has gone before me. God has gone before. It is done. And I'm just so grateful that God has gone before me. Like, there's certain things that's happening in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realm, that we can't see. We're humans, so we see things with our physical eyes, and we're like, oh my gosh, everything's falling apart. But you don't know, in the spiritual realm, God is fighting for us. That's what God says in Exodus 14 verse 13 to 14 says, be still, do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance of the Lord. You will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. God wants us to stand firm and be still and allow him to fight for you. And for ages I struggled allowing God to fight for me. I struggled standing still and standing firm, because I was like, God, listen, how do you expect me to stand still and stand firm when all hell is breaking loose and my natural instinct is to move and to try and fix everything? But God was like, Suzanne, you need to stop, be still, stand firm, allow me to fight for you. When we stop controlling our life and stop doing too much, and we do little, we do less, we leave enough room for God to do more. So stop trying to control everything. Be still. Like, if you're like me, ask God to teach you how to be still, stand firm, and allow him to fight for you. Like, I literally had to learn as well this week to stand still and be still and allow God to fight for me. Every single morning I pray for this lab technician. I'm like, you know what, God, I leave this lab technician into your hand. Like, I pray that you guide to the right person to go and ask for help from. And I pray for those lab technicians that made me feel like I was worthless and stupid. I pray for them. So every single day I'm praying for those people. And I know that God is working. I may not see it with my physical eyes, but I know that he's working. He's comforting me. Like, sometimes when I can't speak and I'm crying, I know that my tears are silent word. My tears are like prayer. Like, my tears are another way of me praying that God understand my tears are words that I can't express. So sometimes it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry, just let it all out. But just know that it's not the end of the world. And I'm just glad that I'm okay now. Honestly, I was so overwhelmed. But God is good. He's amazing. And I just hope someone is encouraged from this video, because honestly, I went through hell, but I still decided to stand firm and allow God to fight for me. And it's just about, whenever we go through something, never letting go. Like, I know Jesus loves me, and sometimes when I feel like he's not around, like on Monday and Tuesday, I just felt like God wasn't around, but I was still seeking after him. Like, still resting in him, still resting and asking him for peace. And he's doing it slowly and slowly. So I'm just glad. And I'm okay. And honestly, if I was to do this video on Monday or Tuesday, I'd probably be like crying and just be like, I can't do this anymore. But God is making me stronger and stronger every day, and I'm glad I haven't cried. I literally was scared. I was like, please don't cry in this video. Don't cry. Because I'm such an emotional person. I just cry over everything, unfortunately. But yeah, I just hope that you enjoyed this video and subscribe. I just hope that you got encouraged from this, and I just pray that God gives you peace and comfort. I pray that you continue to seek after God's heart and put him first, and everything else will come. And God will never abandon you, and he's not going to abandon you now. And whatever you're going through is this little, God is bigger than all our problems, bigger than any situation. Like,